What's going on, family? Thank y'all for joining me on another episode of Abandoned Voices. Joining me today for part two. Part two, Mr. Jared the Dreamer.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Jared?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Now, for y'all who ever saw the first show I did with Jared, I think I did about a year ago, like
a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now.
Something like that. Mr. Jared started this journey where he at now. Well, he didn't start. That's when I met him. So if y'all want to see where he started from and hear the before story, I'm going to put a link. Make sure y'all go check the old video out. And y'all see where we get to this point now. And this young man accomplished a lot. And he's about, what, 25 years old?
25 years old.
25.
25 years old.
When I first met him, he was doing a book. Well, he was in the beginning stages of creating a book.
I had a piece of paper.
He had a piece of paper. Y'all gonna see the picture?
Yeah, you're gonna see. They're gonna be able to see that whole
went from
progress.
a piece of paper to a children's book. Now he's an author.
I should have brought it with me today to show that.
Jared the Dreamer. This man has been on multiple news networks.
Yes, sir.
He done had multiple interviews. The man that met Barack Obama. Barack Obama, come on,
Barack
man.
Obama.
I mean, all within a year and a half since I met this guy.
Yes.
Like, he's moving real fast.
Yep.
So you might want to hop on board and get a little piece before he's super duper busy. Not Jared, though.
God is good. That's all I can honestly say.
What's going on with you, man?
Well, I mean, if I was to give if I was to be able to give a summary of my update over the course of a year and a half, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last interview, but again, the viewers can go back and check it out. But at that time, I had a dream, and my dream was to not only finish my children's book, but to actually give away 1,000 copies to underprivileged kids around the city of New Orleans. At that time, obviously, my main focus was just trying to create a book, because that was a new experience in itself. But secondly, the hard part was trying to put together funding and the logistics behind giving away 15,000 in product.
So you gave away the book before you actually sold the book, right? You gave away.
I actually did. I mean, it kind
like
of the way that it ended up happening was, by the time I ended up finishing the book, I had enough money put aside, and also I had enough support from my team and people that love me and support myself with my first 250 copies of my book. And so I took those copies because I was unable to really raise enough money in a certain amount of time at one point, and raised enough money just to put me over the top in regards to those 1,000 copies. So it was kind of self-funded initially, but what ends up happening, to be honest with you, is later on in the year, after I released the book in October, I'm still trying to raise that money, and then I ended up getting a city council proclamation in November, which during this special presentation with the city council, people called in. One person called in and wanted to pledge $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I think 2 people called in who wanted to pledge $1,000, and then there were 2 council members who matched that $1,000, and another guest who came in who said they would match with 1,000 and ended up actually giving 2 to make sure that I set my goal that I needed to be able to print those books.
Oh man, that's amazing, huh?
Yes, sir. That launched me, man. I mean, God is. I mean, you don't know why. You know, you do half of the things you do, and for a lot of people, the questions I would get was, do you have 15,000 in your pocket? Have you ever had $15,000 before? Why would you give away $15,000 that you don't have? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, my life doesn't belong to me, and neither does this book. So, I'm sorry, and neither does this book. And when I wrote this book, I was in a state of depression. I didn't want to be here anymore. And the fact that God gave me my life back, I promised Him that I would make sure that at least 1,000 kids didn't have to go through some of the things I went through, and they would feel loved and appreciated because I would stop by and make sure they got a copy of this book.
Man, that's amazing, man. And I know you've been to Barnes and Noble.
Yeah,
so your books in Barnes and Noble?
My books are in Barnes and Noble, on Amazon.com. It's literally, my book is everywhere you can find books at online. If it's an outlet available to buy a book, you can find my book.
So how I feel when you walk into the store and you glance at your book for sale, you still get that feeling like, that's my book.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
You passed that already now?
I don't want to say I'm literally not past anything, because to me, I'm still just scratching the surface. And until my book has gone beyond 1 or 2 Barnes and Nobles, know in Idaho and see my book, then I'll probably be like, oh wow, you know. But
my mom made it.
I mean, in Idaho, you know. But for the most part, though, honestly, what means more to me is the impact that doing something like that had, not only on my life, but on the lives of the young kids and adults that I came across on that journey, man. I mean, you said it in the beginning.
Did it open so many doors for you?
I mean, I got a proclamation not only for that 1,000 copies, but for the fact that I've been civically engaged for my entire life. I've literally given my life since 5 years old to helping people and being involved in the community. But from there, you get the proclamation. I get on Channel 6. I get on Channel 8. Upscale Magazine, Black Enterprise Magazine, Where You At Magazine. Just the different outlets, and even with the Obama Foundation, they appreciate it. I don't even want to say enjoy, because it's not typically a very happy story in that sense, at least the beginning part. But they appreciated my story and valued it enough to send it out to their 2 million person reach via email.
Wow.
And just so many other ways that the book ended up getting out in itself. But the kids, though, like, I literally can't go to Walmart now without having a couple kids run up to me saying that I'm the guy that wrote the book about something that's inside of them. I literally was outside of a barbershop a couple weeks ago, and this kid ran out, because I'm just doing things now. It's a natural part of what I do. But a kid runs out with a football, and I don't know the kid, but he asked me to play football with him, and the next statement he made was, "I saw you on the news." And so you know, I'm in a gas station late at night. I mean, just these different places and different times where I can actually see the impact that I had on people's lives. And honestly, you know, I obviously can't see the full impact because these kids still have to grow up. But I believe that they'll be okay.
But the seeds is planted, though.
The seeds have been planted. That's all I do.
That's awesome, man. And by you being so young and see the world different from, you know, from some adults don't see it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, man.
God has blessed my mindset, man. I mean, you can either stay in the same place or you can choose to do different. If you want different, you have to do different. That's the only way it works.
So you're involved in politics now, huh?
I've always been involved in politics. I just kind of keep it under wraps. No, I don't put that on the forefront of who I am. Yeah.
That's good, man.
Cool. It's pretty cool. I love a lot of things that's going on right now, you know, politically and for the city of New Orleans. I've learned to really appreciate this mayor and the efforts that she puts forward. I can see her heart more than ever before, and many other people that have been elected over the last couple of years. Man, I just, you know, I think this city's really on its way to something amazing. And I would never say make New Orleans great again, but I would say make New Orleans better than it's ever been.
So what's next for you? Since you know the book took off, you plan on doing like another book, or?
Well, I'll formally announce here because I haven't actually really announced it publicly.
Oh, if it's a secret, you keep it secret.
Nothing a secret for you. I waited for this moment just to be able to say it, because you gave me one of my first opportunities to begin to build my platform. And again, we're only scratching the surface, but I expect for us to go far together, and I expect to be announcing more new information through you in the future.
You heard it first on Abandoned. You heard it first on Abandoned Voices.
On Abandoned Voices. But I've actually finished a couple things, or in the process of finishing a couple things. Number one, the sequel to There's a Creature in My Belly is finished. It's called I'm the Creature Inside Your Belly.
I'm the Creature Inside Your Belly.
Yes.
It's another children's book.
It's another children's book, and this time it features the creature, that voice that lives on the inside of every single one of us, as a focal point of the book and the main character in this book, so that the kids can really understand the concept of something speaking to them from the inside out. And obviously also relating that to the greatness that lives within them. But I've also penned 2 more children's books called and this one goes to infants, but the ABCs of Encouragement, and also Count Your Blessings 1, 2, 3.
Count Your Blessings 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that goes all the way up to 10, a counting book for infants. That obviously relates in a similar way to that same foundation that I laid with There's a Creature in My Belly.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the chapter book coming too as well. I'm a few thousand
I was
words.
going to ask you about that.
Mhm.
We can go into chapter books, or if you plan on doing that.
Yeah, definitely. I have a few. Again, I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm probably working at 10 different writings at one time, but just building foundations on some of them and extending what I've already done on a few of them too as well. But the next chapter book, or my very first chapter book, I plan to be titled The Purpose Seed. So
the purpose
you
seed?
take the word purpose,
Oh,
and you take the
purpose.
word seed, and you put them as one, and you get the purpose seed. And so in that book, I'm actually going to be talking about the purpose behind planting seeds, different types of seeds you can plant, recognizing that you are the seed that's been planted, and then you take all of that information and something that has been a detriment to society and to God's believers and even just people in general who want to be able to get to that point to where they have that relationship, is how do I make my seeds grow? Why am I tithing in church or planting seeds in church and not seeing anything happen? Why is it that I've been given to homeless people for 10 years, but I still don't have some of the things that I think I ought to have? Or why is it that I'm trying to get to point A and point B, but life seems to be a never-ending cycle of repetition? So it's all about diving deep within yourself, recognizing yourself as the garden, as the seed, the inside of you as the garden. And it's really about just getting very specific on the water you use, the type of soil you planted in, the type of seeds you're planting, and how intentional are you being, and what is your expectancy. So it's very detailed. It goes into so many types of things, but it's all about aligning people with their purpose and allowing them to move forward in life to a life of love and happiness.
Oh man, you got it all mapped out, huh?
Yeah, I can't let it go now. So
Nothing wrong with that.
Jerome Smith, Big Duck, civil rights activist, told me, and it's something that really changed my life. He said, young man, every time he sees me, he asks me if I'm still writing. And I said, Mr. Smith, I wrote something, but life, I'll come up with something, I'll say, and he'll say, young man, I gotta let you know you have a gift. And he'll say, if you ever stop writing, you'll be like a dog who lost his tail, chasing something but don't know exactly what he's chasing. It'll be like you're missing something.
Wow.
I can honestly say the only thing that really makes me feel better, and the things that really gets me through every single day, and the things that life throws at me, is writing for other people, because I know that people's lives can be changed with what I put on a piece of paper.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes, sir.
And you never know the type of what people go through everyday life, especially kids these days, especially in New Orleans. So to have somebody to look up to and have somebody kind of relate to them on a kid level is amazing, especially when kids run up to you and know you for something positive.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. That's a genuine feeling.
When are you coming back to my school? When can I get another book? Or the parents are calling me or seeing me and they're saying, my son rips every book in the house except yours.
Wow.
Like my daughter makes me read that book to her every single night, twice a night. It's just and I'm like, man, y'all haven't even seen nothing yet. And that's the amazing part, is that I have so much more to
So you
do.
better get to reading, because I got some more coming for you.
I have another 1,000 copy giveaway coming up too, so in 2020. And I'm excited about that.
So you plan on doing the giveaway for all your books, or that was just to get you started?
I don't know if I want to spill all of those beans.
You
But
gotta save some.
Yeah.
You can bless me with one,
right.
one already. Not be too
But
greedy.
speaking of spilling the beans, I will say this, that I do have one more children's book that is already being written called Who Spilled the Beans, and that one takes away from that. It still teaches you something, so I guess I can't really get away from that. But that one's going to be a lot more funny.
I know your children's book. A comment my daughter made, and she's 4. She said this is a boy book, not a girl book. What you say about how do I explain it? Well, she's okay. She's 4 because she sees the dad and the son in the book, and the front of the boy. Well, she like it. She's 4.
Yeah.
But she looking for something. I guess. How do you fix that? What do I tell her for that?
I would say, initially with this book, that I noticed, for myself, that my depression was based around me, and the thing that pushed me over the edge was the lack of time with my son.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that time was the most valuable thing in the world, the one thing you could lose and not get back.
How old is your son?
He just turned 5 last week.
Yeah.
And so, that was really the foundation, or the thing that really pushed that book. And you do research and you realize that we're very underrepresented as fathers, as black fathers, in literature and TV, in almost all aspects of life, although we are more present than what is pushed, because what is pushed makes more money than what is present in that sense. And so what I would say, even to your daughter, is that it's the concept that is important, but I've also noticed that there is an importance of having variations of the same concept. So, for example, I do plan to actually translate my book into Spanish, and I also do plan to create a female character to be able to not really replace the male character, but do another version, or find another way to kind of bring his sister in or somebody in to this scenario.
I mean, like I said, I get it. I totally understand it.
Right, but how do you,
by her being 4,
But I mean, I would even say
when she said it to me, it popped in my head like, wow, like, no, baby, it's for anybody. It's just for kids, period.
Right, but I would also say
this. She didn't go deep into it. She just.
But it still has an effect on her, like you said, the message. But I also look at it like this: you're her father. I don't want to assume, but I believe you would want her to be married one day and have children and everything else like that. One day, like 50 years from now.
Yeah, you're right.
Of course.
Maybe 60.
But my point is that she won't see black men as bad. She's not going, not just because of her dad being in her life, but even, it was depicted in the book. It was seen here. And as I begin to create more and others begin to follow suit, and there's others who have come before me too as well, this concept of a black father being in a child's life, being in their son's life, is not going to be something that is even on her mind in a way. Because I think that all has an effect, whether you're a boy or girl, on your lifestyle growing up. And luckily she has you in her life as a great black father. But also to see that happen, and I see it as a disparity in the black community, I think it's just as important.
You're right. So how your son feel about daddy got his share? Well, those other kids.
Well, I think he's asked me like, well, Dad, where's my book? And I'm like, well, Jace, this is your book.
You see what I mean?
Just like
we
sharing
know
it with
kids,
everybody
we know how kids are.
But for my son, again, to me, they're gonna the thought process is that they're gonna think a lot of things. It's good that they're thinking. And it's good that they have questions. It's good that look how she's 4 and she went that deep into it.
It was a simple question. It didn't. It didn't go no further than that. No, but it made me think.
But even as a 4-year-old, to make that recognition and say, "Oh, this is what is this?"
You know what I thought about too, because she have a bookshelf in her room. My mom gave her a bookshelf. We got a bunch of books, and all the books are either Disney book or something like that, and all the books are usually little girl books, or a girl cover or title, or a sister brother.
Right. So she's noticed
the first book was just, and I it caught me by surprise. She asked like, wow.
And that goes to show you. Well, number one, I have a statistic that 95%, and you can Google this, of a child's brain is fully developed by the age of 5 years old. So for me, one of the things that really pushed me again, you have that. I don't want to set that timeline, but I just understand now that this is a proven fact. So there's work to be done between the ages of birth to 5 years old that a lot of parents are not recognizing the importance of building a child's foundation. Right now, that has now entered into her foundation, that this will not be the first, or this will not be the last time, but this, before I'm 5 years old, is the first time that I've seen this being depicted in the book. And then you turn around, my son just turned 5. But 3 months ago, I asked him, I said, son, what's on the inside of you? Like I taught you from the book. And the boy didn't say creature, he didn't say a thing, he said God lives on the inside of me. And, all I know for a fact is that the book is anointed, and that there's only one real way. Well, let me not say that you can really teach a child what you want a child to learn.
Right. Exactly.
and really affect the outcome of a child's life. And I think about even crime statistics. I think about the things that's going on in the city today, and you think about Katrina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Katrina, I was about 11, 12 years old. Well, it's been what, about 15 years?
Yeah, 14, 15, one of them.
15 years or so since Katrina,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of kids are born. Those kids are 15 years old right now. A lot of I don't want to call it a problem, but a big disparity in crime right now is very specifically pointed toward a certain age group.
You're right.
And if the parents were stable, or if life wasn't stable, what did they learn from 0 to 5? Because 5 years after Katrina, people still weren't stable. 10 years after Katrina, people still weren't stable. A lot of things around the city didn't even change. So now we've given these children a foundation that directly goes against their purpose in life, which is the ability to make things happen, the ability to create, the ability to manifest, and the ability to walk in your purpose and be a blessing to those that you come in contact with. Not based on a certain salary expectation, not based upon a certain status, but based upon what you were put on this earth to do and what makes you happiest and allows you to impact the most lives. So, but that's what the Purpose Seed will also do. Will catch those people, those young men and women from 15 years old, and it'll go all the way up until the elderly can read this book and it still has an impact on them.
You ever thought about doing audio books? Trying to read books or audio
Yeah,
books?
I've thought about it, but I feel like, maybe,
old school. You wanted to...
unpopular opinion, but audio is lazy. I mean, I understand going where the people are going marketing-wise, but I just have a real appreciation for reading and allowing that stuff to really dissolve in you. I mean, again, not only are you the seed, but the soil lies within you, so whatever you plant will grow. And to be intentional, which is what I talked about.
I think it's better for kids to actually read in a way than to do an audio book for a kid.
Well,
adults are different, but the kids I think it's better for them to actually grab the book, pick it up, and read the book.
Well, reading has been known to have an effect on a child's life. I mean, just in the way that they live, the way that they think about things, the way that they move, the way that they do. And by taking that away, again, you're seeing the effect of the way the world is changing on the kids that are growing older now. What they care about, what they're doing, I mean, how they're doing it, how they're thinking about things. And the only way that you can offset that is by continuing to create materials and becoming the change that you want to see. That takes time. That's not that you can't fix none of this stuff overnight. You can probably fix somebody's child with the conversation, but you still have millions of kids and young people to go. And I believe it can be done.
Man, why you so nice, man?
Because so many people weren't nice to me.
Oh, wow. Good comeback. Good comeback.
So now I aim to be nice and make people feel loved, because I just didn't. And to be honest with you, again, I talked in the last interview, I think about being okay with where we are with mental health, but, I realize that these days, I'm not even as happy. I'm not depressed, but, the way that life goes, people have to be truthful and honest about who they are and where they are. Because again, if you're not, and the reason why I can say that is because something that I've developed is this concept of potholes that potholes that people understand. This will be in the book too as well. Is that let me say this: that everything that you plant or allow to go into your soil or allow to enter into your spirit, spiritually, will eventually and must manifest itself physically. So, for example, by not talking about it, I create a void within myself that eventually has to be addressed. But if I don't address it, does the pothole leave?
Exactly.
Somebody has to come in and
bigger.
actually be intentional and actually want to and take the time out. And even though it emotionally isn't the best thing to do, actually fill in that pothole, address that old situation, allow it to come back into your present mind so that you can do away with it for good and forgive those who hurt you, because that is a hindrance on your purpose and on your future. And so, for example, what I'm saying is, as we ride on the street right now, we see some cracks. We don't see any potholes, luckily, but you can't just go over that stuff. And spiritually, you're zigzagging. So in life, what do? You zigzag from job to job, from day to day, from city to city,
relationship to relationship,
career to career, and none of it is really fulfilling you because you have not fulfilled or filled that void that lies within that spiritual pothole.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going down the same path over and over again, and even the road that looks new is actually the same because you're walking on the road and it's clear until you see that same pothole and you say, man, that looks familiar, like I've seen that before. And in reality, you have. And some of us do a very good job of really hiding those potholes in a way that you choose not to see them. And something that I tell people, not only is that you are who you think you are,
mm-hmm.
but once you know, you can't unknow. Once you see, you can't unsee. And the reason why I'm saying that is even as people are watching this interview with you,
mm-hmm.
They're going to hear some of the things I say, and it has an effect on their life. But the reason why it has an effect on your life is because you were meant to hear it. And now that you were meant to hear it, you were meant to allow that to soak into your soil. That's a part of cultivating your soil in order to get prepared to plant new seeds. You miss every opportunity you don't prepare for. And something that I've learned, and it's similar to a void or similar to a pothole, is the opportunities you are not prepared for, you won't see them, but you will feel them. It's almost like a gust of wind walking past you, or you catch a chill out of nowhere.
Right.
And you're like, where did that come from? What was that? But then all of a sudden you walk throughout your day and you realize, I'm not as happy anymore. Or I'm not tired like I thought I would be now that I've gotten into the bed.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Something feels like it's missing. Or you just missed an opportunity that you were not prepared for. And if you would walk in purpose, on purpose, then you would have been prepared for all the opportunities that is actually floating past many, many people today. I'm just talking.
Man, you talking good, man.
I
You got as you're talking, I'm over here thinking about. I'm zoning out,
There's
thinking
a creature
about
in your belly. You got to feed that thing.
about my life also. You know, I mean, it's a good conversation, and you 100% with it. You right with it, 'cause definitely you got to address things. You can't. That's life for anybody.
You are not a problem child. You are a purposed seed.
Purpose seed.
That's the message. You are a purposed seed. Once you recognize yourself as such, you can treat yourself as such. And I'll give you one example.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to overtalk you or be talking. I get to talking these days.
That's how it works.
But
that's how it works. You talk, I listen. It's all about abandoned voices.
Right.
You talk, I listen.
No interviews, just conversations.
Conversations, baby.
That's what I like.
We don't have
But
any group. We have conversations.
We have conversations. We converse. But what I was going to say is that many people have heard this analogy about the bamboo tree seed. But I do believe that this is prevalent in how you understand seed.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bamboo tree, the seed at least, we don't know what goes on under the soil. Again, people don't know what you're going through
Mm-hmm.
as you walk it in life. But
Exactly.
you are the seed that's been planted. To be planted and to be buried feels the same way, but it's totally different. If you be buried, you be dead. Why would God bury you and still allow you to walk? That would be contradicting because then you would be the walking dead.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So the bamboo tree seed gets planted, and it takes 5 years of water. 5 years. You water in that thing for 5 years, and you won't see anything grow. That's what I'm gonna guarantee. But 5 years, most people never get a chance to see their bamboo tree seed grow because they give up watering that seed, or they forget where they
But
put
it's
it.
actually working underground.
It's actually working underground. You just can't see it. That means you have to trust the process. That means you have to trust your purpose. That means you just have to walk consistently and just do the same thing every single day consistently as far as following instructions. And then you have to adjust what's going on in your life to align yourself with what it takes to make the seed grow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 5 years you see nothing grow. And then within 30 days, you see the seed grow over 90 feet tall.
Wow.
And I say that honestly to say that many people really don't understand the type of seeds that they're planting.
Mm-hmm.
Many people are not putting intention or purpose behind the seeds that they're planting. Or many people are giving up on that seed before they ever have a chance to see that thing grow. And then they blame so many other external circumstances
Mm-hmm.
for what's going on internally within themselves. And then again, once you see, you can't see. Once you know, you can't unknow. Rejection is your protection. I mean, so after that, your life seems different after that, you know?
So you kids, book author, and a motivated speaker, huh?
I like to say I don't motivate, I inspire.
Like,
I don't believe
inspirational speaker.
You can only motivate yourself. You can't teach ambition. You either got it or you don't.
Got it or you don't. Man, actually, you can learn a lot from you, man.
I went through a lot of hell for this information, so I might as well share it.
Nothing wrong with that. And you know what? That's kind of a perfect balance because it's, you know, you understand it.
Yeah.
And it's like being rich and poor. I mean, sometimes what the rich don't understand the poor, and if you're born rich, you just don't understand it.
Some people are rich with a poor mentality.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
You see them dropping like flies every day now.
Yeah. So it's good to go through both. And like I said, just, you know, God have a purpose. You don't understand it. We don't understand it at that moment. You know, if sometimes it take you 10 years to look back, like, wow, now I see why I went through all that.
Right.
You know, I got to go through it to understand why I'm going through it.
And then you go to see in the moments that you could have made a small change. And then over time, these small changes turn into big changes, which means your whole life changes. But does it ever really change if you were destined since the beginning of time to do that same thing? No, we have free will. You chose to wait an extra 10 years. And then now, time in the season is off. That's what happens with seeds. Now you can't plant the seed when you're ready to plant the seed. Now you got to wait. Now you're frustrated.
Yeah, with the fall.
Now you done gave up again. Now you got to wait another 10 years.
With the fall is winter, baby. You can't do it in the winter.
What you want me to do?
Yeah, wait the summer come around.
What you want me to do? I set this way up for you, and all you have to do is walk. And the last thing, well, I don't know if we were closing out or not, but the last real concept I want to share is the concept I talk about that's also within the book. This is the last thing. The book is extensive, but I'm not sharing full concepts for anything that I'm saying too as well. I'm really giving pieces, but not the whole pie. But for example, what I'm gonna give you right now is the donkey concept.
You said the donkey concept?
Donkey concept.
All right.
And so, you know, donkeys aren't sexy. Donkeys aren't the most attractive animal in the world. If I were to ask a child or even an adult, well, what type of animal would you be? Most people will say eagle. Some people will say lion. I guarantee you that 99.9% of people will not say donkey. But if you ask Jared the Dreamer what kind of animal he would say, a donkey every single time. Why?
Why?
Because
because
I know who I belong to. So when you know who you belong to, you can trust in that. So who I belong to, which is God, right? The donkey knows how to do one thing: walk. They say a donkey is stubborn, a donkey is ignorant. Well, we all are in our own way. That's why we have free will. This is the way I see it. What allows a donkey to walk or allows a donkey to move is vision. Not only do you have to trust and know who you belong to, but you got to trust the vision. Which means that if I put a carrot in front of the donkey's face, the donkey will walk. The donkey will walk all the way until it reaches its final destination. It doesn't really matter how long that is. But the owner understands that donkey and understands just how far that donkey will go before he needs to give him that carrot, or before he needs some water, or before he needs whatever he needs. But it's the vision that allows you to keep going. In 2020, God's getting ready to increase vision. And God's getting ready to give new vision and replenish old vision to those who thought that they lost it. Because most people, after all of this stuff, they no longer want to be a eagle or a lion. They're more willing than ever to be a donkey, which means you're willing to accept the assignment and you're willing to walk until you complete your vision. So that's also a word for you. I know we're on camera, but that's what God is really telling me to say in this moment. This is the difference between Jared a year and a half ago and the Jared now.
Oh, believe me, I hear the difference.
So in that sense, the donkey again.
Not in a bad way. Difference.
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting. You know, what's up, bro? he's on a whole new level now. I gotta step up. I gotta go home and read my books and come back.
But the donkey will walk. The point is, the donkey will walk until it reaches its final destination. And the guarantee is that when you reach your destination, you will eat. That means you will have everything that God told you you will have. God is not a man that he shall lie. If he put that carrot in front of your face, it's because he knows you can eat it. The only thing that changes is you, because unlike a donkey, we have hands, and we could take that carrot out the way and put a celery stick. But if that was never supposed to be for you, just because you don't like it, and because you don't see what it's going to do for you, God knows your heart. He knows what you really want. You have the ability to take your gift and make it everything that you want to make it. You are limited by the dreams that you dream, and I believe that your dream should be bigger than you. Because if God, you know, or if whoever you serve, whoever you believe in, with all due respect to all people, covers this entire universe, then why would I limit him to tomorrow when he can cover my family 100 years from now?
100 years from now.
And that's called the
Blessings
legacy.
Blessings on blessings.
Blessings on blessings on blessings.
Legacy. Yeah,
Like a
man.
seed. That's even a seed. The legacy. You got to plant a seed till you got to know what you're doing. That's what farmers do. Farmers make things grow. They manifest, and that's all I'm teaching people is how to make it grow, just like I was able to, and I continue to do, and you was able to. You taught me about branding, and now I'm a walking brand. I told you when I got in the car what I said. I said.
You're right.
I said I don't go by Jared Green no more. I'm Jared the Dreamer.
The
now.
Dreamer.
I'm a walking brand because of you though. Like I'm not just saying that because we on camera. I told you that when I saw you recently. I said, man, you the reason why I done branded myself now, because I got in this car and you said, man, I can't wear my seatbelt this way. I gotta wear it this way so that people can see my brand.
That's it.
And I said, man, you wearing who you are? You not wearing polo? You not wearing none of that stuff? Ah, man, this is my polo.
That's it.
You're
My
right.
polo right here.
You're right. I mean, let me say Ralph Lauren, because this a polo is nothing but a style, but it's about mindset.
Right.
Polo is nothing but a
We
style.
named it polo.
Yeah, yeah.
This a polo right here.
Allow him to take over this whole style of t-shirt. I mean,
Right.
style of shirts.
We named it polo. It's actually Ralph Lauren. You're right.
And we have so many great people in this city, and I told you before, and I continue to say it now, that I believe New Orleans is the pioneer of change and will be the pioneer of change for the entire country.
As long as people like you running the city,
You said I don't. I just do what I'm
Well, as long as
supposed
people
to.
like you is somewhere in the making of the people who run the city, nothing to worry about, man. We get people like you in there. But you're all good, man, and you're speaking some positive stuff. And I'm gonna be 100% honest. I wasn't expecting the conversation to go this deep.
I'll answer.
Off our last conversation.
Yeah.
The last conversation, it was about the book. I guess, you're in the beginning stages of things, and,
I was very scared too. That was like my first interview.
you saw things. Abandoned Voices, you heard that, right?
That was like my.
Man,
That was like my
man-
first interview.
This man,
Literally.
This man didn't cheat so much. And he got his first shot. Well,
No, you can say that. That's
His
my
fir-
first. You the
his
first
first-
person to say, man, your story means something to me.
his first shot off Abandoned Voices.
Like
And I
Ryan-
just ran across him on I think Facebook, Instagram. one of
Yeah,
them.
you did, and you reached
I was
out,
like-
and I said, wow.
Like, man, man,
And
doing
I-
something.
And like I never forget that. Like Ryan Marrero of Marrero Productions, Marrero Photography actually was the first person to ever take my headshot. Like I really can't forget stuff like
and
that.
you know what stood out to me? To be honest, when I saw you, every time I saw your picture, you had a suit on. You look nice. You look sharp. You look how I would want to look when I go somewhere. And I didn't know how young you was, but you had a young face. I'm like, he dressed like a very mature young man, but he looked like he's early 20s.
Right.
So I couldn't believe that you really was, because you know what, I'm used to seeing, I'm used to seeing, and you was the complete opposite, and that stuck to me. And I'm like, wow, like I have a son that's 19, I have a son that's 17, and and of course, they're not in the streets, but I'm like, wow, I like the way he dressed, like the way he looked, he just a well together young man.
And something I say is that I don't even, and what I don't do for a fact is I never try to force this on anybody else.
Mhm.
But people, I never thought I would. The most question I get is, why do I have on a suit? Most people kind of, know this is what I'm going to wear. And people are shocked if I don't have a suit on now. But
When I saw you without one on the first time, like, wow. But I was doing this cleaning up the East type of thing. Like, why would I suit out here? It's just crazy.
Right.
I get it. But that's my first time ever seeing you without a suit on. Like, it really was.
It was really hot that day.
Exactly. When I saw you,
there's nothing I can do about that.
It's like you looked at different, but not saying a bad different. It's just the first time I saw you without a suit on.
Well, and really,
that's,
like I said, like something I learned from the very beginning, from when I met you, was about branding. And one thing I learned is from what Gandhi says, to be the change you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when you get a chance to ask me, I'm gonna tell you, because this is who I am. And I had a young man say, like this man come from a very rough background, and stuff like that, but we real tight. And he's like, "What you mean that's who you are? And what you mean? You made that suit?" I said, no. I said, but this is my brand. And then we had a whole conversation about branding. And this man has had a clothing line consistently over the last year plus.
Mm-hmm.
And now he brands everything. So, I mean, it really doesn't, you are who you think you are.
Exactly.
The greatness within you is as limitless as the universe around you. You have to go as far as you can only go as far as you see yourself going. Don't limit yourself.
Exactly.
Don't limit your vision. And in 2020, visions will be unlimited and unlocked.
Unlimited.
Unlimited, unlocked, exponential growth for those believers who chose to prepare to see. You have to be prepared to see. Oh, I told you it's gonna pass you by the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
People gonna go the whole year and be like, I feel like I just missed something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. People gonna be like, I feel like I missed something.
And you're
but if
right.
I'm trying
right.
to tell people right now, like, get prepared,
But you're
prepare
right,
your
because
vision, prepare your plan.
It been times where I done went months and like something just wasn't right. Something wasn't right, you know. And you look back, but just because you miss it doesn't mean that it won't come around again. Depends. I mean, I know everybody's situation different, but sometimes you may miss things depending on how God feel. Hey, you know, I mean, everybody's different, but life doesn't stop. It just every loss is a lesson. You're like, all right. I wasn't prepared for it at that time, or I was hard headed, or I may not get that same type of come around, but something may come around. Something's coming around again. It's just this time now I know how to be prepared for
And
it.
what physically means to look back, spiritually means to look within. He gonna show you, if you really want to know, he gonna show you right the moment you missed it. Because that means it's coming back again. Because seasons come. There's 4 seasons in a year, 4 quarters to every year: winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
Imagine that there's seasons spiritually too. Now you just got to figure out what seasons are inside of you, so you can figure out how to plant the seeds that you want to grow. There's no limitation as long as you have a seed. The seed cannot be limited only by its shell. And again, you don't see what happens underground while that seed is trying to break its cell. It's going through a birthing process. I'm not going through it. I mean, I'm not. That's it.
But you know, at the age you are, by the time 20 more years come around, man, you know how far you're going to be in life? And
let's hope I'm planted in that bird.
I'm 37. No, I'm a little older than you. Well, a lot older than you. A little older than you. I'm 37.
You made the cut.
Yeah, I'm right next to 40. You know,
I don't want to say that. I'm
my back hurt, my neck hurt, my legs hurt. I'm stressing. My kids call me old. You know, I may look young, but you know,
you do.
37. You know, I have back problems sometimes. You know, but anyway, and I just know if I knew what I knew, like when old people say that, if I knew what I knew now back then, the things that I wish I would have known at your age, 24 years old, if I was that educated and just knew life at that age. That's what I mean by it. Like you're 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're 25. At 25, I run the streets. You know, but now I'm 37, and if I just stopped and had somebody like you to talk to me at that age, or just knew half the things about life and purposes and you know, at that time, you know. But once again, Katrina just happened. My dad had just died. You know, I never was a bad kid. Don't get me wrong. I never was in trouble.
Life, you can't control what's going on. I mean, it just happened. It just kind of was given. Like a lot of us, I said I'm 11, 12 years old. A lot of us was just given that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even nobody.
One of the things you said that makes sense. Like once you see, you can't unsee it. Mm-hmm. You know, once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Now you could reject it, say, man, that's not true, or whatever. Mm-hmm. You said you want to say it, you heard it, or you saw it. See, at your age, you done seen things and heard things that you cannot. At my age,
choice but to move forward.
When I was that age, I didn't see these things or hear these things. You know what I'm saying? So, not making an excuse for it, but I just wish that.
No, and then even in that sense,
but
even in that sense, if that changes, then you'd have opened up this door for my first ever. I needed you to be right. What year was that?
And they, of course, with that, it took me some time at
and you had to build it.
The
you had
job
to do
I was
all
on,
things.
and I just. And
you was breaking the seed, the shell. You not the seed. You was breaking the shell.
There you go. Like man, it just like I said, things happen for a reason, and it just like I said, I thought this conversation was going to be more like last conversation, which was still awesome. It just I didn't know it was this deep. I didn't realize the growth in you until now. You know, just seeing pictures here and
I don't talk as much either. I try not to be as vocal on social media.
But there you go. And then when I see you, it's always like, what's up, man? We dapping and we moving. But to sit down and really talk, first time since last year, and it's like a lot since last year.
And that's how it is. Even when I walk around, man, it's just like people be like, man, I want so much more to you. And I always say, well, we're gonna have to sit down. Talk about that. And honestly, I just value who I am enough. I don't need nobody else to tell me how great I am, how much they love me no more. That's the difference. God has shown me. Let me not say I value myself. God has shown me how much He values me.
That's what I meant.
And in that turn, I turned around and continued to try to show God how much I value Him. And as long as that's happening, anything can happen in my life, and I still got to keep going because I work for the greatest person in the world.
Keep God first, and everything else will fall into place.
Everything else.
That's it.
Everything. Just walk. Follow your carry.
Follow your carry.
Trust the journey.
Well, man, I know you're a busy man, and I don't want to hold you all day, man. But I can talk for hours if you ain't know this.
Well, we gonna grow together. So I'm excited for what's next for both of us, man. I'm happy to have connected with you.
Oh man, definitely. Man. I definitely appreciate you, man. Allowing me to get deep into your personal life.
Yeah. Like in a way only you can through a you can't interview me and get this kind of information.
Appreciate
that.
Man.
That means if you interview me, I can only answer your question. But if you have a conversation, you're onto something. You're onto something.
And that's why I'm Bandit Voices. We have conversations, not interviews.
Not interviews.
We're just talking, baby. That's it. That's it. You want to interview? Go talk to Fox News.
Go talk to somebody.
No disrespect at Fox News, ABC News, none of that. Cause one day, hopefully, they interview me.
Man, they're gonna need to bring you in for your expertise.
I'm trying to change the whole interview thing to have a conversation. You get to know more about a person with a conversation than an interview.
Mm-hmm.
Interview, I control it. I'm asking certain questions. A conversation, if I want to know about you, let's just talk. Let you just talk about what you want to talk about. Yep. You may not be ready to talk about this right now, but later on you are. Or after you talk to me at the conversation, you realize, well, Mark's a cool dude.
And it makes me feel
comfortable. Let me tell you a little something else about me.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And it's comfortable. It's comfortable because I know you're not trying to hurt me or nothing. Then with the questions, you feel limited. Now you feel you got a structured answer. You got to. Right now, I feel relaxed. I feel good. I feel like Bandit Voices is it.
That's it, man. Once again, man, thank you again, my brother. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.